Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to Docu-Sweeties.
We're two longtime friends who discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docuseries.
Yes, but through our own lens, which can be, scary, can be trick-or-treaty, can be spooky, can be too much candy, overly sweet, saturated, in fact, almost hungover the next day. But at the end of the day, again, also sweet. I don't have to tell you about that one. I fucked it up. But at the end of the day, hopefully sweet. Okay, here we are. Happy Halloween, and we're having doubles for you all. That's our treat.
It's the double
Yeah.
double toil and trouble. So today we're talking 90 Day Fiancé, season 10, episodes 3 and 4, to witness the beginning and of these two lovers. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to witness the beginning of these two lovers.
Okay, is okay. Let me talk about this. We know what this is supposed to be. Have you ever been to a wedding where after dearly beloved and we are gathered here today to witness and then they said the words the beginning of these two lovers? In my entire life, never the beginning of these two lovers.
Absolutely not, because you can't be lovers getting married in a church. You're living in sin at that point.
Yeah. Like right.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like, yeah, no Catholic priest would be like these two like lustful, passionate folk who obviously get down. You're just like, I don't know why I say Catholic
That's
priest,
a
but like,
great, yeah, that's a great priest. That's like, here they are. They love to get jiggy with it. Say 7 Our Fathers and 3 Hail Marys.
he just hustles down the like aisle. They all follow him. I mean, that'd be a great wedding. But no, this is okay. Well, here we are. So I'll
Here
tell
we
you
are.
this. I hate to be Debbie Downer, but this is a weird season. It feels like a weird season. And off the bat, there are so many free people that have chosen so much plastic surgery that I'm just going to call this 90-day plastic surgery.
I mean, it is. It
I mean,
it
this is
it it is. Two people have 3 people have made themselves just different versions of who they once were.
yes.
I really feel like Ashley is giving us everything that we need. Ashley and Manuel, because Manuel does not care. I love it. 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 And Jasmine's butt implant looks terrible in every
Hard.
scene we see it in.
It is
But
interesting.
let's just jump right in. So let's do Gino and Jasmine,
Mhm.
and we start off this episode. This is episode 3, where she has said, "I've cleaned the house. I feel so much better." And we look around, and it doesn't look like she's done much of anything, especially because that downstairs is still in the state as it was when it was built in 1987.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a lot of the aesthetic of where she is and the way it looks is very difficult, and it's 100% that thing where he thinks it's totally fine and great.
yeah,
And where she was, like, and that must be, and it's some sort of palace. It's an American palace to anyone
yeah,
else.
it must be because it's better than it is in Panama. As he reminds us, it's going to tell us next episode, which is actually pretty great. But she has decided that she has a surprise for him. And so then she goes into the bathroom and changes into a naughty nurse's outfit. She also gives him a doctor's outfit. And he's like, "What is this?"
Oh.
Chris, it's like he didn't know what it was. And like that they were trying to, that it was role playing until he's like, "The doctor is waiting for you." And she comes out and he goes to slap her butt and she's like, "Be respectful." And he's like, "Oh, what? Mm, what?"
I know, and she has to, like, tell him, like, "Okay, I'm the nurse, you're the doctor, but I'm also the patient. I'm also the patient, even though I'm dressed like this." Like, like, but again, it's Halloween, I do give it to her. So, then he has instead of, like, his doctor bag that we know the doctor bag we all had, like, in school. By the way, I played we know this already, like, I played a lot of doctor. I played too much doctor, and I played the Jasmine Gino kinda doctor, okay? Like, straight up. Not with, like, the accoutrements they did in their doctor bag, but remember how just like a kid's doctor bag would have just like, here's a stethoscope, here's like one of those weird like triangle things you're supposed to hit on someone's knee and your knee moves, but like By the way, that thing is such a, not to like just tangent. Don't worry, I'll go back to this episode. But that thing is a weird thing they're supposed to do in physicals that like just what check your reflexes.
Yeah. I think it
What is-
happened to me one time, like in the
Yeah.
actual doctor's office, and then after that, never to be heard from again.
Yeah, like, I definitely haven't had a doctor take a little wooden or, like, plastic thing and knock my knee and see if I either kick or not, and I'll be honest, I can't remember even in that moment what I did. Like, I'm sure I didn't kick him in the face.
I
I'm sure he
mean,
knocked
I
he
didn't kick him
mustn't.
in the face, but it was just a little, like, yeah.
uh, yeah, there must be other ways to do that, or maybe there's just it just seems it feels like the old-fashionedest thing,
Yep.
like, it might as well just put leeches on me. You know what
It's
I'm saying?
archaic. Yeah, it feels very
Yes.
archaic. But I'm also like, what did they do it because, polio? I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
why would they need to do that? What was the disease that was prevalent at that time to where they were like, well, let's knock on their knee to see if it moves.
Yeah, like, wouldn't they have told you, like, "Hey, doctor, I'm having trouble walking." I don't know, or sometimes I wanna use my leg, it doesn't quite work, or sometimes it just hangs there and flops, and sometimes I just randomly kick people, doctor. Wouldn't that be the first thing? Wouldn't that be the reason why you came and saw him? Anyway, listen, okay, we'll go back to here, but here there's neither here nor there, but here we are. Yes, I play doctor a lot of that kind, we'll talk about that later. But now here we are in Ginny and Gino and Jasmine. She lays down on the bed. She gives him a kit. The kit has, guess what? Dildos. I mean, like, I think that maybe in her contract, there must be either she is being a completely sponsored by an unknown nameless sex toy company, her parents own, or something like that. Or in her contract, she has made it clear that like every 3 episodes, sex toys are given to her, put inside her. We talk about them, right? Butt plug. I mean, it's like, I mean, it is so much. Okay, so like Matt Sharp, what are you like? Someone like undercover work should be done. So basically, the whole thing now is that one of the many plastic surgeries she's gotten, like, so, and in this way, I mean, there's no difference between Nikki and her. Like, how can you imagine, like, really think about the plastic surgeries these women have gotten, how similar, I mean, things are happening everywhere all the time, in every crevice and every hole. I mean, to the point where it's like, what is anything? Like, that's where really gender, I do feel like, is a spectrum, because with plastic surgery, like, everything is transferable. So anyway, God bless. Here we are, Jasmine, having done vagina surgery, to like tighten whatever, has gotten too tight a thing, and now like Gino and all his Gino hood like can't access it or whatever. And so this like this house doctor whatever is like about rimming her with that shit and like getting him to get in there or whatever, and she's just with her bangs and her like you see bangs and eyes, like she's like not wearing like any makeup or eye makeup for the first couple of weeks in this, so it's just bangs and eyeballs and raspberry or red lips. Like, it is, every look is jarring from her. I
I
find
love
no
it.
comfort. Oh, well, this is, I find no peace or comfort. Go ahead. Well,
I love the big red lip. I love the like I just love the downgrade. I love that she's just downgraded, and she tells us that she's insecure, but I just like the downgrade. Anyway, so he's like, "Okay, guys, you have to leave. Give us a minute." And she's like, "A minute?" Then the next scene, they're in the kitchen and she's got on a little brown robe, and I mean her boobs look so painful, don't they? They're
yes.
just so hard, tight, and high. Ugh.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I don't know. Half of this is like, I guess I've already yucked someone's yum. And this is her yum. She has to like this. She has to want it. She's been choosing it every time. And she's not the only woman
Mhm.
that does.
Yeah, Larissa. Look, Larissa's got huge, hard, fake boobies. It's just like, oof. Anywho, and so they're sitting down in the kitchen after making breakfast, and her standing over him talking about healthy foods and how she wants to slowly change him. Then they come into the dining room area, and right behind her is just a pile of junk. Which, listen, we all have our piles of junk, but I'm going to say it again. When you have cameras in your home,
Mm.
clean that shit up. Find a bucket or a basket that looks decorative and throw it in that decorative basket and just put that basket there. Like, we all have our junk drawers. I have a whole junk shelf right next to me. But as soon as cameras were to be in my home, everything, all this was trash. Get out of here. Get out of here. Like, and it's just so kind of hard to see. So she sits down and he tells her, I've got some exciting news for you. So, in order for to help you like, acclimate to the United States, I have quit my job. Surprise. And she's like, baby, what? And he's like, yeah, I thought you'd be happy. And she's like, well, I mean, baby, thank you, but you have to tell me these things. Like, you kept it a secret from me. And then we find out that had she known that this is what his financial situation was, she would not have spent the money on butt implants. And I don't believe it.
Oh yeah. No, I don't I don't believe it at all. I don't. But it's interesting. How much did he work that God, I just can't imagine a relationship where I'm like, you know what? I need to be around you every fucking moment. I
Well,
every what?
I think he anticipated her. Go
Wanting
ahead.
to be around him every moment because they have a codependent relationship, and she like he thought she's gonna be upset when, but it's like, I guess she also like has friends, but I go see she just can't have her friends there. So I guess in my mind I was like, does he think that she's more expensive left on her own devices and that it's cheaper for him to quit his job and at least be around her all the time because he can entertain her? Because it's like to entertain as a woman yourself, if you don't have anything to do, I can do it. Now it requires money, like because what it means, it's like, okay, well then I'll work out. Okay, so one thing is I can work out, obviously. I can take myself to lunch. I can go to a friend, with a friend that I just met at my workout, and like maybe I get my manicure, maybe I get my pedicure, honey. Maybe I like, is there a little pickleball that's relevant, like is there a pickleball league I can join, like you could fill 3 days as a female with money. And I'm not, or any person with money, if you are a kept person. Like
Mhm.
Johan would only be too happy. Can you imagine Johan if he was with someone that was like, I have to work 5 days a week. But you know what? Just like here is spending money and just like fill your time. And then when I get off work, we can spend time together. Johan would be only too happy to be like, yes, like that's all he wants or whatever. And so it's just interesting because, yeah, like what is the reason why Gina would think it's better for him to not have a job and have less money?
Because he is somebody who lives like a curmudgeon frugal bear. And so he just like stacks his freezer full of food and doesn't do anything to really spend any money at any time. So he thought that spending this time with her, he would be able to help her get acclimated. And maybe I don't know, does she drive? I don't think so. It's winter time. There's not less options. And he doesn't live someplace like fun and hip and like, I don't know about Detroit, Michigan, but I imagine if he lived in the heart of downtown, maybe if it was a bomb ass downtown, she would at least be able to go to the store by herself. Like the where he lives is not a place for people to just kind of be dropped off. Now, this is what I think he's nice for doing this because so many people don't and their partners are angry at them. Oh yeah,
You're,
this show.
you think that he's nice for, I'm sorry, for doing what?
Oh, I think he's nice for thinking about her being by herself the first couple of months in the States. Like, I think that if you are bringing somebody to the US, you should at least go on like a 2-month leave of absence in order to help them be acclimated. Now, a year is excessive, but you should take at least, at the very least, a month, if you can afford it, off to help them do some things, get to know some stuff so
Okay,
that,
you're right. You're right. You're right. Maybe
yeah.
maybe okay. Okay. Fine. You're right. You're right. All right.
So I think that's nice of him to do that, but
Okay.
quitting for a year is excessive or whatever. So they go to massage, couples massage because he wants to treat her because he had to tell her she didn't have a job. How long was that massage? It's not a treat unless it's 90 minutes. Go.
Oh, I mean, I've never had, I'll be honest. Usually when it says couples massage, isn't it a package deal that is usually like one session for your right? length of time that's usually more than 50 minutes. Because 50 minutes is just like bum bum bum, turn around, bum bum bum, you're done. So yeah, I think from what I see in like fancy resorts,
They're
usually the
not at a
couple.
fancy resort, Chris.
You're
Let's
right, I'll
bring
be
it
honest.
down. Let's bring it
Yeah, let's
right.
talk. You're actually, yeah. When
Bring
we
it all
walked
down.
in,
This
she's
is a
like, "Oh, this looks
storefront.
nice." I know.
Yeah.
It was bargain basement.
This was strip mall.
It was bargain basement. So basically, they start their massage, and I'll be honest, there's always a part where when you flip over that they do this like fun sheet thing where they kind of like drape your butt and your thigh and they kind of tuck the sheet like in a certain place. And you always know a good masseuse for how taut the sheet is that they tuck, where you're like,
Mhm.
"Oh, you fucking do this all day long. All you do is tuck and taunt." But she I don't know what she expected. Now here's a God's honest thing. If you are used to plastic surgery, you know that any sort of massage is going to end like this. Like she knew the minute that he said massage that she was going to have to talk about these implants because it's like we know what massages are, like same thing with like if you had gotten breast implants, you can't lay on. I'm assuming I've never gotten one, but you can't lay on a table for a long. You can't smush your fucking breast implants. You like, I'm surprised you can, even lay on a table on her butt. But
Yeah.
anyway,
I'm surprised too that she
like
can do that.
let's just say she didn't want to tell them. She could have just been like, "Oh, no, I'm so sorry. Can you just avoid my butt area? That's only for my husband." Or whatever she wanted to say, like she could have gone around it, but she obviously had to because the producers told her to relay this information now. And let's just say it doesn't help him relax. Well,
Yeah, no, she giggles and he's like, "Why is your butt so sensitive?" And she's like, "Because I got implants." And he's like, "What?" And she's like, "Because I got implants for you, baby." And he's like, "Jasmine." Like all of a sudden, he's like, "Jasmine, wait, you." She's like, "Yeah, the money. Remember the money you sent me for the dress?" And he's like, "You spent the money I saved up for cosmetic surgery that you don't even need?" And she's like, "But baby, I lost so much weight and I lost my curves and I didn't want you not to like me." And he's like, "This is the shit I'm talking about, Jasmine." He like gets up and he's like, "Give me this is the shit I'm talking about, Jasmine. How am I supposed to trust you if he can't even trust you with money? You're gonna spend money that I give you for a dress on butt implants." And she's like, "But baby," and he gets upset and he walks away. And then the next episode 4, she wakes up and she calls her sister. And her sister's like, "Listen, you have got to walk on eggshells around this man, okay? You fucked up. So you figure it out and you be nice to him."
and the whole time we have to remember that she didn't even just use Gino's money. She uses Dane's money, whoever, what she wants to call him. And so, like, she has to also relay that information. So she's constantly manipulating who's telling a secret, what a secret is, what's a lie, whatever. So she goes and has a conversation now, Gino, and she's like, "Baby, it makes me so sad that you are so mad at me." And
But you would have told a lie too. If I had known that you wasn't gonna have a job, then I would not have spent money on those implants, which is like crazy because I'm like, girl, just because somebody has money does not mean or has a job does not mean that you spend 4K on some shit that is unnecessary. Like that's the thing. I'm sorry, do you think that he makes like what 16-20K a month to where spending $4,000 on this thing like makes sense?
yeah, an extra 4K a month is like, yeah, like this person has to have a lot of discretionary income.
A lot. There in no world does her getting that butt implant make sense if Gino is not a wealthy man, a man that makes enough discretionary income to where he can blow 10K a month on life, on funsies.
I don't get
Like
it. Jasmine was really skinny when they first met. She was like a hard-bodied workout queen.
Who
I
knows?
don't feel like she looks so different now that she was. That's why I feel like it's manipulative. She's like, I lost all my curves because I got so skinny. I was like, you were skinny. I like you've been going up and down. God bless, but like like I don't know what to tell you. Like I don't know. Anyway, sure. I also feel like it's not real. She just did it because she wanted to do it. Like she's going to use that to like.
And her insecurity talk, like, I'm so insecure. You don't know. I don't see myself the way you see me. And I'm like, do you think that's true? I mean, it could be true, but
No,
also
I
the
think
way,
she's crazy.
yeah,
And
the
my
way,
hair and my alopecia. I mean, here's the thing. Her, what's her face with the book? Jada Pinkett Smith.
oh,
I really want the best for everyone that has alopecia. I don't mean to make fun of it. And I feel really bad because I also feel like my hair is thinning. But at the same time, she does use everything she can to like dig herself into a whole victim hole of being like basically having him be like, okay, Jasmine, you are not only the most beautiful thing ever, and I will tell you that for the rest of my life. Whatever you need to do to look beautiful. Like, I feel this is all an angle to get the hair extensions back.
I mean, I did love the fact that she downgraded everything in order to, match his money, but it's really just kind of hard to believe. Okay, let's move on to another mess. Oh, did we show you this picture?
Oh, do you want to take a commercial?
Oh yeah, let's do that too. 21, 24. So I started using the automatic I don't know if it's something that's new to Spotify for podcasters or if it's something that we unlocked another level, but we're now able to do like automated ads to the point where like we just upload the thing and push manual ads, and I normally put like 2, 3 if I'm feeling wild. They put 6 ads in our on our last 2 things I uploaded. And I'm like, well, go on with your bad self. Here are these 6 ads. Pre-roll, and I didn't know what pre-roll was, so I didn't know that we could put an ad before the thing starts. Like, oh god. So anyways, that's and they do it naturally too. They're like, we'll just do with a natural space in the thing.
Ooh.
Yeah. So if we forget, don't worry. It'll figure it out for us.
Okay. Choose an account to sign into podcasters. The
Okay.
DocuSweetie Spotify or Anchor FM. I don't know what
You're gonna go down this rabbit hole again.
I fucking hate this. So I'm now completely like, I think that I'm completely lost. I don't know. Is this it? Oh, thank God it is. Okay. Okay. So I'm ready to go.
Okay. All right. So next couple that we're going to talk about is not them. It is Nikki and Igor.
Justin.
I think that's so rude that she changed his name.
Oh, I know. I know. I know.
Oh God. How do we have conversations about Nikki and not point out her choices? And I don't want to body shame, so I'm not going to. But there are choices that I just can't get down with, and it makes it hard for me to see her side of it because all I can think of is this insecure person has gone to this country to terrorize this man. Now, has he taken money from her? Yes. So is he culpable? Yes. But wow.
I know. We don't his demeanor is so interesting. Like he's so dry and sterile even when he makes jokes.
I love it.
Okay, let's talk it. So yeah, she's obviously on her way to Moldova and
wearing a crazy ass outfit on a plane. Like how can that be comfortable, Chris?
Like not a lot of things she does looks comfortable, but like beauty is pain, like I think that she's like she's hard, she is of that generation. So we also get to realize that she says that she paid for all his surgeries, and they were like, oh. And then I'll tell you this, I'm glad you said it because he passed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we had realized that motherfucker had also had surgeries for some reason. So he got his nose done, and now I feel like he's gotten like some sort of like jaw and or like filler in his jaw. I don't know. What the fuck has he done? What? Tell me. What do you think? Go back.
You know, a
No, go
hundred.
back. Go back. Go
Hold
back
on,
now.
hold on, hold on. Let me
Okay.
just do my thing, crazy lady.
God, what? Okay. 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 If you're on Patreon, this is great for you. And if you're listening to this, all you hear is just us being like, what the fuck? Because we're looking at these pictures. And yeah, it's like, I don't understand what happened between these two people. I will conversely say that the glow up is goddamn real. Like this glow up. Okay. All right. Here we are again. Looking at this, it's a pink sweaty face. It looks just like it looks just like a man who was kind of pink and sweaty going into a man that like is under professional lighting and not so pink and sweaty and has aged, and God's given him, looked down on him like one of the fucking, like Maleficent and Sleeping Beauty with like, where he was given the gift of beauty. I mean, the man is gorgeous. You know what I'm saying? Like what? Okay.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what's happened because I'm not as good as this as you are, but definitely a nose job and definitely some kind of lifting in the cheek area. But maybe not. But maybe just like a little bit.
God. Is it look, go back. Okay. Now look at this chin. Is it or the lip? I don't understand. Besides, even the nose doesn't look perfect. Like, how would he get a nose job? It looks crooked in the other picture. Like, what the fuck happened? What surgeries did she pay for him?
Something that would a really good surgeon, because whatever happened to her, whatever she allowed herself to do is like, it's definitely the brows. Look at this. So beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so that is just a shocker, and we have to call it out because we can't just always like it. I don't know, and there's definitely men in this world that have bad plastic surgery.
Like the
But there's
Ken
also
doll.
women. Yeah, there's also women who have great fucking plastic surgery, and this is a globe, and this is the same thing where it's like he better never do another thing, because like don't. This is where you stop. You know what I'm saying? Anything else from here? Like if he is gonna go now have a facelift when he's like 40, it's gonna look crazy. But anyway, God bless. So she gets there. I want you to say what you had written down.
I put that she's wearing dressed like the aughts basic bitch. Like that hat is like a homage to the trucker hat of past times.
Von
And
Dutch. It was Von.
yeah,
It was
it's like a Von Dutch, and then the pants, and then she has on these like studded ankle sort of pointed pump, and she's just like stomping through the airport, and she sees him, and he has the biggest bouquet of flowers. But before then,
mhm,
did
mhm.
anyone notice that in his bathroom he was like stepping on faux grass or something?
I think that there is like IKEA or Swedish design bath mats that are like anti-fungal that resemble such plastic turf like area,
Oh.
where
Mm.
like your water just like goes to the bottom and it looks like naturey.
Oh, I was really confused. But yeah, so he had that, and he had to like, fix up his shoes before he left, and he put the sweater around his shoulders, and I was like, that's what a look. What an 80s like country club look he was going for.
Mhm.
That's the biggest bouquet of flowers. What is that? Must be 2 dozen roses, right?
It was a great bouquet he looked lovely, he did it right, like yeah, it's just like this is the thing that I remember the first time I watched Angela land at the airport, where I was like, I'm looking at everyone else is like, let me see their fucking faces and seeing how you're taking this in. And the same thing happens again, where like in the airport, I'm like, let me see what's happening in any of the spectators, just like what's happening, like anyway, so
Yeah, and they, have a huggy kissy moment, and then, she wants to suck his tongue or whatever, and he's like, "Whoa." Like I think he's just not in I mean, I can't even say it. I don't know what his trepidation is with PDA, but some people aren't into it, okay? Let me just tell you, as this person, yeah, get off of me.
well,
Um
that's a like sucking tongue is a little intense, but at the same time, here's the rub. she's gonna go on this episode and the next episode also like want to do some things that also are, like, oh, it's kind of weird. Maybe I don't know. Would I ask someone to lick my phone? I was like, I don't know. There's like certain things I don't know if I would ask someone to do in public in like strict cultures. But at the same time, what she's naturally also not is picking up on is I think like probably thinking that he's supposed to be like, baby, it's been so long, I need to like devour you. And he's not giving her that energy, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and she seems really desperate for it. So they leave the airport and they get to his apartment, and she's happy to be there. She's pleasant in the car. They get there. She's like, "Show me all the things you spent money on." And at first we're like, "Oh, she just gave him money to fix his toilet." And then we realize that she has asked him to fix the toilet and then therefore paid for it, which seems like makes sense to me. And the same thing with like the bed or something she did for him, and but it was really for her. And and she jumps on the bed and is like, "Ooh, this bed is really comfortable." And he's like, "Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah."
He- this is where it gets hard and cringy to watch a little bit. Like, and there's going to be other parts. She's on this bed, and sure, it feels like also the editor and the cameraman are like definitely wanting us to pay attention to her butt, and she also wants us to. So there's now three people in this world making her butt in this like black tight pants with the seams almost so pronounced and bubbly that it literally looks like a sports ball, like with the seam, because it's so firm. It's such a firm, buoyant kind of like bountiful style. And it's just like she's on this bed, she's like pushing it out, she's like literally humping the bed, like she's staring at him as as it's happening. I like it's so funny because conversely it makes me want to act like the most demure flower. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very intense how like aggressive it is.
It
It feels.
is. Yeah, it does
And
feel aggressive. It feels very cougar. It feels like feels a lot. So they go to bed and they wake up the next morning, no sex. So if the cameraman has to be so nosy or producer has asked that. And then so she starts to get ready because they're gonna go do something. And he's like, I know it's gonna take her double the time it would take anybody else. But he's really trying to stop her. He is trying to stop her from being this person that she has created, and it's not going to work. And he's really trying. So he sits down next to her and he's like, "Hey, you look fine. I like a natural look." And she's like, "I'm doing a natural look." And he's like, "But you can stop putting on all this makeup on." She's like, "This is my aesthetic." And when she says that 10 toes down, that's when I realized that she knows what she looks like and she wants to look like this. And so
yes.
at this point, we've got to just suck it up and deal with it.
They start to have some interesting conversations. This is the conversation where she's like, well, I wore makeup before when when you knew me before. Now, I don't think she wore the level of makeup at that time because I think she probably A, wasn't as like precise as a makeup artist, and B, the early aughts in the 90s had, look at this look. She's not wearing fake eyelashes right here.
Yeah,
Those are
because
eyelash. Those are her. Those are, yeah. Go ahead. What?
yeah, no, it's just a different time. You're right. But you were gonna say that the early aughts was a different makeup time.
Look, she has very thin eyebrows. She has no false eyelashes. She has frosted, beautifully blended, like what looks like the honey or some sort of like nude palette from Urban Decay. She must have just gotten it. There's a little shimmer in there. She's giving such subtle, like, I don't think there's any contour. If it is, it's so subtle. She has fucking natural pink lips that are obviously already filled, but they are so natural. And she's already had a nose job here, but the nose looks breathable. It looks like she can breathe in that nose. You know what I'm saying? Like, it looks breathable. So, so what he says is, what he can't say is, okay, well, your makeup has changed. He's like, well, I also know makeup now, and so I can look and see that this makeup I look at looks very different from the other makeups I see when I walk around the streets, and
Yeah.
I see many different makeups. And I go on TV, I see makeups everywhere. And those makeups and this makeups look a different. These are full strip lashes that she does to here. And then she does the thing where her bottom liner comes out with a white space in between. I mean, she understands this. So it's not her, like, she's saying this. What she can't say is this. It's like, bitch, I know makeup, and I'm doing drag makeup. I'm doing trans, which she doesn't want to say she's doing trans porn star makeup, but that's another word we're going to start using. But he says that in this, but like, what she wants to say is, I think that she's doing very presentational, like high glam makeup. And so why it's confusing is when she says this is natural, she's wrong. If you're a makeup artist, it's not. That's not natural makeup. Here's the thing. I'm not saying you have to wear natural makeup, but you're confusing this person if you tell this person you are going to do natural makeup and then that's what's happening, because we don't need makeup degrees to understand like what levels of natural is, and you did it before. So having said all of that, she can still look however she wants to look, and I think that she's definitely making it clear that she is going to do that. And I think that for him, he also has this joke where she's like, you're not gonna, she's like, so you're not gonna control my hair, my makeup, my looks. And then he's like, okay, you have more fingers, so why don't you keep on counting? And he delivers that line so dryly, honey. I mean, like, I bet if I was to cast him in a commercial, I'd be like, oh, you're absolutely fucking hired. I mean, boy, can you just like really cut a line? And she's like, don't joke around with me. And the don't joke around with me will be something that he does a lot. But I'll tell you, it is very attractive to see this person poke and like give a biting line so fast and so like juicily. I don't know. It was hot.
I think that he's trying to get her to be somebody that he can be attracted to, the person that he once was attracted to, because he says that their relationship is more of like souls, and I believe that. But I think that the ship has sailed, and I don't think that he should kind of deal with her belittling him, because she ends up belittling him later on. So they get to the park.
Wait, this is funny. He's like, I'm gonna take you to a park and I'm gonna walk you. She's like, on a leash like a dog. Anyway, sorry. That's one of the good
Yeah.
guys. Oh,
And then they get out and he ties her shoe, and they get there and she is so ungrateful for this gesture.
I,
She is so upset about the puzzle. She's upset about everything. And I'm like, why are you so upset? But it's because he's not giving her the um he's not giving her what she needs to allow her to believe that he is physically attracted to her. And I don't think it has anything to do with what she's thinking. I think it's because she's dressed like she does. I think that he doesn't like her aesthetic.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he can even like ascertain. Like, I don't know if he's like, if she would dress more classy
Mhm.
or more elegant,
Mhm.
and just more, just with a more old money look or whatever the fuck you want to use, of just like a little less makeup, a little more demure or more modest of clothing, but still you can make it high fashion or like, like elegant looking, and so that we're not just like always staring at body parts that are meant to be like super exaggerated.
Yes.
Um, and so, but having said that, he like, this park is beautiful. He's like, look, in the daytime, it's all frogs. At night, honey, sex noises. And you go behind them forest, honey, you hear them fucking. He says whatever he wants to say, but like, it's hot. And then, yeah, like, it's a beautiful park. She's like, I want cotton candy and ice cream. Buy me both. So they somehow buy both or whatever. Like, God bless. And yeah, as I sit down, he's like, puts on this puzzle. He likes to play chess. And half of me is like, so then also she's like, he didn't like, it would have been nice if he brought a picnic and some wine, but I don't know if that's it again. If the entire time he was holding her and or kissed her forehead or kissed her, or if he had just boned her before. Half of me also feels like she's mad this entire time because they didn't have sex. Like that's what it almost feels like. Like she was going to be mad the entire time because she's punishing him for not jumping her the minute he got out of the plane.
Yeah. I agree. And I feel bad that this is her experience. And I think that, yeah, I just feel bad that this is her experience. But I can see him just being like, if you could just take off half of that and just chill, then instead of me being mildly embarrassed of you, I could be excited about it.
Sex-cited. Yeah. So she drips ice cream on her face and she's just like, lick the ice cream from my face. And he's like, no,
There's so much
no, babe,
makeup on.
I will
Yeah.
lick yet. I will be tasting so much foundation, so much powder, like so much concealer, so much. There's so much bronzer, and then like also everything on my tongue. Like how many layers you want on my tongue, And it's like a stabs her to her core that he just, babe, lick it. Come on, lick it. Lick my babe. I don't have a napkin. There is no. God, can you believe this motherfucker fiance of mine won't lick my face? Like like she just like
Yeah.
can't. That all of that part is like cringe fest 2005. Now you could tell
Yeah.
me that it's because it's like meant to be and it's like mildly fake. I'd be like, okay, so why am I here? But at the same time, you can also tell me that it's cringe fest, and I don't have to tell you, it's hard to watch.
She then tells him that he has 48 hours to fuck her or she's leaving him forever.
Yes, she does. Yes, to change her mind or she's fucking leaving, and
And she's like, bye, little boy, whatever. And I'm just like, girl, ew. Ew.
this is what little boys, these are like what roommates do, like he's moving at a snail pace, like, and he's like, you've been here for 1 day. But in her mind, she's like, but we've known each other and, like, you're my fiance. It's like, I've been paying. And she also brings up the money thing a couple of times. She like it when she sits down, she's like, you know what? You don't want to fuck me, but when you need money, I'm there. When she said that, it did feel Danielle and Johan. I mean,
Yeah.
again, it felt is one of those things where I'm like, oh, is this just literally what if she was a man, the older man, and he was a young woman? Is this just that kind of relationship where like an older man would be like, why aren't you answering my, like to his mistress in the 50s, like, why aren't you answering my phone calls? If I, like if I want to have sex with you and I'm paying
Yeah.
your rent, is it kind of that thing?
Yeah. And that's what, to me, I'm like, to me, you've given him the money. You've let the money leave the palm of your hand and now are expecting him to behave in a certain manner. And then when he's trying to tell you how he would like for you to behave so that he could get comfortable with you, you're like, no. And so then he's like, no. And then you guys are staring at each other. Like, we'll see. We'll have to see what happens. But the fact that she wants to chalk down to him as soon as he says no to her about sex is like weird. All right.
I don't give her one thing. I know where to belong. When you weren't having sex with me, I feel like you're having sex with somebody else. I think she's not wrong. Okay, that's all I have to say.
Next couple.
Mhm.
Sophie and Rob, the knob wanker. Oh my god.
Ugh,
So this
yeah.
poor child is in the bathroom getting ready. And she's like, well, hopefully me and Rob one day will get another apartment sooner than later. And we're all like, girl, he's not going to do anything for you. Let me tell you. Listen, Rob is a loser. Rob is a very good looking, black, light eyed, biracial man in Los Angeles, living like a 21-year-old. He's 32 years old. He's going to marry this woman from across the pond. They have not had any decent conversations about futures or what they want. He is only interested in her looks and however it is that she makes him feel. And his whole thing is that he doesn't want her with her princess mentality to come here thinking that she can have more than what he's willing to offer her, which is literally next to fucking nothing. He does not even have a place to sleep where his bathroom is in the same space that he lays his head and it has roaches. And the fact is that he has the audacity to drive around that little 2-seater, whatever he has. He does not make, he has every opportunity in this town, or in the town she's in, not me, because I'm in Minnesota. He has every opportunity to make money in Los Angeles with the way he looks, and yet he does not. He picks up odd jobs here and there, unless that's a lie. And he really does have some really good jobs somewhere. And this is all a lie, cover, Airbnb nonsense, hostel, whatever. Rob is a loser who cannot get a girl to who's A, his age, and or B, who actually has any standards to be with him. So he has plucked this little girl and now is angry at her because she wants a bathroom, angry at her because he's looking at other women on Instagrams and she's jealous. Now, the whole thing about him cheating is nonsense. She's a crazy person. But then the baby thing, I mean, Chris, it's too much. He's a fucking loser and he's mad at her because he's not better.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's just, here's the thing. This young girl has hair that she has beat down in her mind so hardcore that the way in which she now deals with it is to fry bleach it, then mat it down on her head and do two things. Put a wig on it, well, fine. Or then put, at this point, extensions from here as a ponytail behind her. Why I bring this up is because she needs a bathroom to do her hair. You, as a man in your 30s, I don't understand if you consider yourself such a artiste of aesthetics and only date such hot women, why in your expertise you haven't realized women need bathrooms. Women need bathrooms with counter space for things like makeup and skin products and hair, because it's like, in order to look like some men really want, it requires so much work. I feel like I say this all the time. So what I don't understand in the entirety of the world is A, if men that are cheap, I want a woman that looks like that. And it's like, well, okay, but if she's going to come live with you, then you have to understand she needs to look like that, right? So you'll make it so that she knows how she can do that, right? And that basic misstep is so foreign to me that men don't get it, there's gotta be a difference that I'm missing up, that women are like, well, I want this in a man. And the one thing I don't know. I just don't have to tell you. It's so fascinating to me. Okay. So they go to arguably one of my favorite places in the world. So I'm watching this with my cousin Monique, and I've had birthdays there, and I start screaming. Oh my God. They're at, oh my God, they're at Dave and Buster's. They're at Dave and Buster's. They are at Dave, and I'm screaming. She's upset. They go right to a shot where it goes the power up, which if you are a Dave and Buster's person, you know exactly what that means. That's where you go and power up your cards. You can go play. It's overrun by kids. I know he lives in LA. I feel like they're at the Hollywood and Highland one because of the shot of the outside area. They can't actually say Dave and Buster's. It just keeps showing us how it goes eat, play, drink, watch, or whatever the fuck it is. There's just kids running muckety muck. So when she's so yeah, there's a really sad story about how, and I feel bad for her, God bless, that she might not be able to have kids. And because of that, she's told herself she doesn't want to have kids because why have expectations, blah, blah, blah. She tells it to the sister. The sister, by the way, sensitive to her and her wants and her needs. Very, very level-headed sister. This is not someone who comes out being Rob, you should leave her, I think she also probably thinks that, oh, my brother's dumb. So basically then she's let me go talk to Rob. She's he's shooting, hoops, one of those sad hoop games. He's stolen that game from a 5-year-old, and the 5-year-old just off to the side, by the way, Rob has gotten absolutely no tickets, and there's 4-year-olds walking around with huge stuffed animals. Wow.
Okay. So one thing that she does say is that she makes her own money. She never wanted to take from her family.
Yes.
And that she has figured it out to where she can afford to be by herself and live by herself off of her money she makes from social media.
This is fake, and this is just the reason why she gives us only to tell us why she's not asking them for money, which of course is the big reason why we would think like, why would you live in this place with no fucking bathroom if you're so goddamn rich? It makes no sense, but that's like the only thing she can say is at 23, she wants to like have nothing from her parents. And I'm just gonna be like, that's fake. Because the truth of the matter is that's fake. It just depends on how rich you are. There's not a rich person in this. If you have a certain after a certain amount of money, it doesn't make a difference for them to give you I said this before. This is now a difference to give you 2,000 to get a place with a bathroom in
Yeah.
LA.
Yeah.
I don't mean to like say the same content. That's just and I don't mean to be privileged about it, but like don't go on TV and say you're rich then.
Yeah. Don't. It's just very annoying. He is just so the way he acts, and then he's like, well, even Beyonce and Jay-Z have kids. What does that have to do with you? You are so far beyond below that. And he just pisses me off so much because he's such a loser, and he's such a narcissist. That's what it is.
Yes.
It's always this interesting combination when you meet somebody who's like a loser, who doesn't really have anything to show for the time that they've spent on this earth, yet they have the audacity to act like everything revolves around them, and they have the nerve to get mad at anyone for whatever. Like, the fact that they haven't had a talk about kids is not her fault. It's his, especially if he wanted them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what makes me also sad is that she says like I've like never seen him like turn his love off to me in his eyes. Where I think for the first time she was like, it looks like he like hates me, like he has nothing to do, think he's like ready to throw it away. And the truth is, yes, he is. And I need you to see it now because you've been in a fucking la la land. This person only wants you because of the way that he thinks you look, which is not the way you look.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to fade.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, it always does.
Mm-hmm.
But in my love now, you're 23. I wish someone could just tell you like your mom. But the thing is, your mom is trashy. Another reason why you're not rich. And I know that to be true. Anyway, yeah, like no one's going to tell you what you need to know is you have to love yourself. This person Rob doesn't love himself, so he can't love you.
Mm-mm.
Literally,
Mm-hmm.
he will go on God's green earth to try and find someone to love him as much as he thinks that like that the world should love him, but no one will. He doesn't love himself. He's a lost soul. He's like the fact that he would demand anything from you when he can't get his shit together is like LOL.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, we're in this hustle mentality right now, but like after that, like what it is like if you can't have kids, like what are you gonna give me? Like it was all of that kind of like feeling, and I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
get a fucking bathroom. Get a bathroom first, then get a date. I wish that some men would be the ones that would fucking find their kingdom and then find a queen. He's someone that needs to like not find his kingdom, funny honey, find a shack first.
Mm-hmm.
Find a grovel hole, and
Mm-hmm.
then maybe a wench will fall in and be
Mm-hmm.
sad enough to meet with you. Go on, Wa.
Yep. Okay. Next couple that we're going to talk about:
Yes.
Ashley and Manuel.
Oh.
Y'all, Manuel could take it or fucking leave it, and I love that for him. Ashley, they wake up the next morning, and she's like, "So we banged it out, and we're fine." And this is over the dog sleeping or whatever. And let me tell you, Rico Suave won because he loves Rico Suave now.
Mm-hmm.
So they go to the grocery store, and she's like, "This is everything," and he's like, "Oh, okay, okay." And then she's like, "Okay, this is vegan food, so it's like meat, but it's not real." And he's like, "Huh?" And she's like, "Yes, it's carne." And then he goes to get. She's like, "No, no, no, we don't want that." My thing is like, why are you telling him about vegan meat? Who cares? But
Yeah.
she just was so excited to tell him about all the vegan meat, the options, all the
Yes, it
vegan
was.
options, and he was just getting confused.
Yes. So is
Uh,
this no es carne. Oh no, no. Okay. This. No, fucking no es carne.
no, that's what I have. And so they do this grocery shopping, and I think it was a really cute little scene.
Yeah.
And then they're going to meet her mother, and he's just like, "Listen, I know Ashley's mom is going to be a lot like her, so I'm just going to sit back and smile and nod." And they go to eat, and she's already picked out his outfit for him. Like, she has
Mhm.
two options for him to wear, and he's like, "Well, I want to wear this one," and she's like, "But it doesn't match." And I'm like, "Girl, then why did you give him options? Just give him the one you want." So they get to this outdoor venue to see her mother, which, yeah, she looks like her mother. And apparently her mother had her young, so they're like in her mind besties. And we tell the mother that he hasn't told his family where he's at, and the mother is real skeptical of this. She actually judges him so hardcore because he hasn't told his mother that he's left the country, which I get, especially because he has kids. And I want to know how many. I want to know how many baby mamas. I want to know everything about them kids. They haven't told us. And like he looks so young. I don't know how old they are, but I'm like, how old are them kids? When you have them kids? And during the time you guys were supposedly knowing each other, so you just riddled with children in between. You heard visits to Panama, which is fine because maybe she doesn't want to have kids. Her body, her choice. But he really just really, really loves poking her. He doesn't give one shit.
Yeah, I think that I think that's like kind of their thing. Like their banter back and forth is fun.
Yeah, it is. Manuel, tu primas llámame muchas, otra vez, otra vez, otra vez.
And right back. Oh, well, okay. No, porque like I can't talk Spanish just back. Yeah, but it's like they're sassy back and forth to each other.
Mi vida, mi vida, mi vida. Look at this. Like, very, very, yeah. And he's like, so then she gets pissed because she tries to buy him a new phone, and he's like, no, I want internet to this phone. And she's like, okay, well, why are you getting mad at me? Here's the truth. When you go to other countries, and especially if you have an Android, they take chips, and your chip, you open up the back of your thing, which as Apple users in the US, we don't have chips in our phones, but Apple users in other countries do have chips in their phone. And I remember when I had an Android, I too had a chip in my phone. So T-Mobile would send me this chip, and I'd put this chip in my phone. And that's how my phone knew to A, talk to T-Mobile to get internet, and B, to be my phone or whatever, right? So when you change phones, it's not like you had like an Android center the way you have a Apple situation. You don't have an Apple account. You don't have an Android account. You just change the chips. Anywho,
so I thought there was gonna. Sorry, I thought there. And I don't know. This one definitely doesn't. This is I just got a new 15 Pro, but I think that I got traded in. Okay, so anyway, but I thought there was this little SIM card.
Not anymore.
But I remember like there used to be like a little like beep. You would like take out this.
Yes.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I definitely don't have a SIM card in here.
Yeah, no, we haven't had a SIM card in Apple phones in a long time. It's mainly for the other phones, Androids. And so he's trying to get a chip. She doesn't know what a chip is. And listen, I wouldn't know what a chip is either. Like, had I not had this experience in other countries. So what you do is you go to a place that sell, I don't know, Boost Mobile. You go to like places that sell cell phones that aren't like Verizon. You go to just cell phone stores, and you could ask them for a chip and a prepaid or whatever, and you put whatever on it, and then you have that, and you're gonna I don't know, connect to some I don't know how it works, okay? But this is what other folks do who don't have the high-tech situations that you or me might have. And so she's like confused as to what to do, and he doesn't understand because that is the modus operandi where he's from. You get a chip. Everyone gets a chip, so it's not confusing. So they're having just like this complete lack of communication or understanding of like what they're talking. And I feel like she must know. She must know because she's been to Ecuador enough times. But he's like, I need internet. And then she's like, you could use my computer, you can use my phone. He's like, I don't want to use your thing. And she finds that highly suspicious. She finds it very suspicious that he does not want to use her devices in order to do things. Now, Chris, would you find it suspicious?
Yeah. I almost thought it was a little test she did. You're right. I think she does know because she's like, where do I go? He's like, like a store. Like it's funny because it's like, well, why didn't he just look up? Like, he can't look up and like, oh, I just go to a cell phone store. Like they don't. You're right. I know exactly what you're talking about because she's like, where would you go? Like and also it's weird. Like who orders a phone though? I guess I'm like, yeah, I would go to a Verizon store. I would go to a Mac store. If I knew that someone wasn't going to go to a Mac store, I would go to a cell phone store. But anyway, God bless. So. Maybe she doesn't want to drive. Maybe she's just like lazy.
When you go into the store, they don't give you the same deals as if you do it over the phone. Over the phone, they have like your whole account or whatever, and they don't have like a sales. They might, but like over the phone, I know it's for me, at least with T-Mobile. Going into a T-Mobile shop, they'll be like, "Oh, yeah, no," because they're trying to get their commission and do whatever. But if you call them, they'll send you to whatever the thing very easily, and you know.
Didn't know that. Okay, so great. So basically, yeah. So this is a fight they have, and then she tells us about it, and they kind of have it on camera again for us, and then and it's like it's not really resolved, and she's like, I want my Wi-Fi, and then she goes and talks to her sister, and what you want to say something?
Girl, they sit on the grass with no blanket.
Yeah. The
Whew.
sister loves her sister, though. I'm sorry. Her sister loves Nicole. Or sorry, what's her name?
Hmm.
Wait, what?
I don't know the sister's name at all.
Ashley. Yeah, okay. So Ashley's sister loves Ashley. She's just like, you're magical, you're amazing, but you do sometimes like pop off. And she gets her sister to like admit that she like cursed in front. She cursed him, and that Manuel cursed her back or whatever. Like they just have great sex. The sister's just like, let me see that hookie. Let me see that
Yeah.
hickey. You know, and she's like,
Come
listen,
here, Hookie. Come here. Let me see
I'll
that
tell you what's
hookie.
not a problem. The sex. You know what I'm saying? But everything else, huge problem. Un
Well, I
problema.
mean, that's I'm happy for them.
The sisters are like, you're just both alphas. It's always interesting. I'm like, oh, okay. Is that what it is? Like, you're just like both controlling. You're just like the sister's trying to control. Like, and the sister Ashley does feel like she hasn't acquiesced as much as that she thinks she has. Like for someone
Mhm.
who I don't think she quite realizes how witchy everything is. You know, I don't think she obviously quite understood that someone might not want to share a bed with a dog or whatever, and that, you know, like she is controlling and dominant in that way. Those are dom moves, you know, like because it does not allow for space for anyone, and a submissive person allows for too much space, almost, for like making everything about the other person, and you know, so it's just interesting. But yeah, she goes back, and then now it's all about the fact that his family members just keep calling her, just like it's missed call after missed call, and she's like, why do they keep calling me so much? He's like, because you don't fucking answer.
Yeah. Yes. But she has to get on the FaceTime with Mercy and ask these questions, and then all of a sudden she just like backs
Yo
out of the
no say Mercy. Cuando? You don't say Mercy. Who is Mercy? Never heard of Mercy. He's like, well, I don't fucking know every one of your cousins' names either, bitch. I've never, sorry. Do you think I know your cousins' names? I don't.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I love that part too. I love that part too.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
So yeah, it was just so funny. And then we end up seeing it's so anticlimactic because she really thinks like he's coming there. The one producer told her to say that. Just say that he's coming here to be with his family.
You know, I'll tell you this though. People commented on our shit that like they thought that in episode 2. That there's because of like maybe that's something that could happen. Like someone called it out early. Like I don't know why. You know, like
That's so
because
crazy.
Manuel does seem to like just be floating through life, and was also given, you know, somewhat of a gift of being like naturally good looking and charming. I'm sure it's
N-
gone him what far
Yeah,
in
it
life.
has, but it has gotten far. But it's just that the fact is that she knows that he's somebody who compartmentalizes and like doesn't share information and is very secretive. And so to choose to like bring him to the U.S. and then now just be in a consistent and constant state of like murder she wrote is just too much for me. Like you, at some point, you just have to trust him. You cannot be always on the case trying to solve it and figure out what he's doing. Like, trust him or send his ass back.
You're right. Okay, so yeah, you know, we'll just figure out what happens. But we've gone through now 3 couples in the 3rd and 4th episodes of obviously 90 Day Fiancé season 10. Now, in episode 4, we are gifted another Coops Badoops. What?
Yeah.
And
So this
not the kind of coupe
not
that
to,
Rob drives. Not the kind of coupe that Rob drives around LA that's very messy and dirty into Hollywood Highlands parking structures, but a coupe dupe that also has a familiar face or familiar sound name to us. Sorry, I can't talk. Go ahead, Wah. I love you. Wah hates me. It's
no.
Nick from
What?
Korea and some other girl named Devin from I think Arkansas, but I think that he's also from Australia. Go ahead, Wah.
Another Devin. Oh my god. Is how many white women from America named Devin will go to Korea for a Korean man. Um, First of all, our guy Nick has a fantastic tan. I don't know, like his skin, I mean, it was a beautiful color. And so our boy Nick is Korean but got bullied growing up, and so he joined the army, and then after the army he went to Australia, and he says things like "G'day mate" and other things. But he's so lucky because he fell in love and found a beautiful white woman, and it feels really fetishy that he likes to call her Piggy, and because she's so thick, which she's not at all. But then he has to put down Korean or Asian women for being too skinny. And I said, "Oh, are the Korean women too skinny? And is that their fault or your society's fault?" Or whatever society that they're living in, to where they feel like they have to be so skinny, and you have the audacity to say that you like your thicker, curvier, more athletic Arkansas girl named Devin, who, I mean, I'm gonna love every word that comes out of Devin's middle of the country mouth. It just makes me so happy. She sounds just like Bill Clinton.
Yeah, I mean, that's so funny. She absolutely does. This does reek of interestingness. But one thing about him is that he like, he was obviously born in South Korea and he was bullied in school. And so he felt like his trajectory was to make a man of himself by going and enlisting in the army, and he does. And then he goes to Australia, and then he gets to, learn English, which is what he wanted to do. He has like an Australian accent. And that's where he meets her. And so now what we're watching seems to be them coming to Korea just in preparation for getting married, in that she is showing the respect that she needs to do to defer and meet his family and obviously the country in which raised him, in his whole culture, which
Yep.
is obviously vastly different from where she met him. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like sitting down talking to a street vendor about the whole situation and about, chicken feet and how Americans don't like chicken feet.
Now, have you
Um,
have you had chicken feet?
uh-uh. I just don't know where the meat is. Am I just eating like
Y-
grizzle?
Yeah. No, uh, yes. Like, I've never had it. Or the nails taken out.
Stop it. What a
Oh,
disgusting thing to say.
why?
I don't think there would be nails in it.
They're
Ew.
chicken feet. The claws? Oh,
But I've
okay.
never thought of it. I've never thought of it. Ugh.
Oh,
But I
that's
mean,
the first thing I think of.
so many people love it. I mean, Central Americans love it,
I
Dominicans love
know.
it. So there has to be something to it. I just can't imagine what it is?
He's just like, if you only fucking knew. If we just told you that it was chicken, chicken, you'd be like, yummy, look at this really kind of bony, chewy chicken. How interesting. I wonder. Oh, is that a nail? Anyway. Yeah, the piggy thing seems overwhelming. It's because it's not, I'll be honest, it also feels like, is it okay? I can't. It's like one thing to like have like a little slight nickname for someone, and then it feels like, why is her whole fucking being to you an aesthetic a piggy? You bring her a piggy, you're like piggy, piggy, piggy. Like how you can't fucking always be calling her piggy. Like it's one thing if like at night you whisper in her ear, like just like I'll see you later, good night, little piggy, or whatever. Like, but it's like quite another. If like all you hear is like piggy, how do you pig, 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 pig? Then you're like, here's your toy. It's a pig. Want some bacon for breakfast? Do I know what you want for lunch? Ham sandwich, honey for dinner, pork chop. You know what I'm saying? You're just like, what? Just like here's some truffle, salami. You're just like, oh my god, that's a lot. Like it feels like it's all day long. This pig and him.
You know what? I don't think it's that bad, but I also I don't have like and until recently, have I been worried about weight? Yes, but not really. Like I've been worried about belly, like I have a gut, but overall weight only in the last like 5 years. Before that, I was just, moving through life as a high metabolism individual. So I don't have that trauma. So, oh god. Anyways, I like him, but I feel like he's going to say a bunch of crazy things.
I do too, and he's already been saying crazy things.
Yeah.
But I do like for her that she gets to come comfortably in, sweatpants. She doesn't give one fuck. Her hair is not done. Her makeup not done. She doesn't give a fuck. He's so happy to see her. He's horny as hell, honey. He's just like, I'm gonna fuck up that bed tonight with her. Like, I
Yeah.
don't care what mood she's in, what lag she's jetting, honey. Like, it's going down. I just can't wait to touch her, feel her. She does feel fetish like and all that too. But she gets there, and yeah, she starts crying and he cries too. And then later on, she's like, I can't believe you cried, and she's
Yeah.
like, you're a stone cold, like machine, but you
Yeah.
cried. And he's just like, yes, I couldn't wait to tap that ass. That
Yeah.
piggy, piggy, piggy ass. I'm saying, I don't know what to tell you. Like, he does seem weird. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. He definitely, I don't know, something kind of attractive about him. Uh he seems, even though he was like, I don't know, maybe the military's toughened him up. I don't know. I want to see more of his military photos.
Hmm.
Uh yeah, we'll see. We'll see. That's it, right? We got
Yeah.
them all? All right, you guys. Woo, we got a new couple this episode, and Manuel and Ashley are heating up, and Justin
Mhm.
and well, the other one is getting on our nerves, and Rob can kick rocks with open toe shoes on. Um,
Ooh.
yeah. So if you guys want to see the visuals of what you're listening to right now, you can join us on Patreon for $10 a month. It's patreon.com/DocuSweeties. You get a live every first Monday of the month, as well as this content immediately after we're done with it, filming it. And yeah, but if you can't do that, Chris can tell you other options.
Just, do the free shit. Follow us on social media and all our stuff and give us 5 stars. So at DocuSweeties on Instagram, at DocuSweeties on TikTok, at DocuSweeties1 on X/Twitter if I ever log in again. And there's a Facebook group. It's called the DocuSweeties Facebook podcast group, something like that. Uh
Who's in that? Are you in it?
I'm in it. You're
No.
guess you should probably join. Anyway, maybe Wa will join,
Yeah.
But anyway, big things happening this week. Just join before Wa does, Get in there before Wa does, because once she's there, honey, she ruins the party. I'm just kidding. I love you so much, but
Woo.
I'm just playing. No,
All
she
right.
makes the party. She makes the party, and listen, we're sorry that we didn't get separate episodes, but here's a make a one for you. We love you guys so much. Happy Halloween, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.